sprinkles. I would also like to see how you made those little mushroom friends you have in another video.
I think we can make that happen.
Hello.
Just in case you're not familiar, here is one of the little shroomies I'm going to try and make, but instead of glitter and foil in the cap, I'll try to add sprinkles. So, let's get started. The mold for the body is simple. It's just an open face mold and I shouldn't have much trouble. Basically, I'm pouring the resin down through the base and there's lots of room for air to escape. It's the mold for the cap that's going to be the problem child. I can't use the urethane resin I usually do because I want the resin to be crystal clear and the urethane has a slight yellow tint to it. The problem is, I designed this mold for the urethane resin, and the urethane resin has a much lower viscosity than epoxy resin. So the small pore spout and the little vent is going to make it harder for the air bubbles to escape the epoxy than they normally would with the urethane. It's true that the pressure pot will take care of the small bubbles, but if too big of a bubble is trapped in there, it'll stay. The other challenge is the sprinkles. They're too big just to mix in the resin and pour down the spout. However, I think I have a plan. The best way to get the sprinkles inside is to open the mold really wide and just start shoving them down in there. But what about the resin? It'll never flow between the sprinkles because it's too thick. I'm going to have to give it a little help. This is a 2-part silicone mold putty. What you're supposed to do is take equal parts of each color of putty and mix it together until it becomes a uniform color. Then, you press it over what you want to mold, let it sit and cure hard, and then you have a mold after you peel it off. But that's not how I'm going to use the putty this time. I'm going to use it to build up a really big funnel that I can put around my pour spout. I'll explain why in a minute. First, I want to try to get the mold packed full of sprinkles. I want it full, but not so full that it won't close. So I'll have to shake them down and also dump some out. Hit, dump. Wiggle wiggle so the seam will close tight. I'm hoping to avoid a parting line. Now to close it all up with some rubber bands. Alright, so here's the funnel. It's really big for a reason. My idea is to glue the funnel to the mold, then fill the funnel halfway with resin. I can then put the whole thing in my vacuum chamber. That will pull all of the air out of the mold, and when I release the vacuum, the air will be replaced with resin. It needs to be big, so when the resin expands in the vacuum, it doesn't spill all over the place. I'm using 2-part epoxy, so I need to measure and mix equal parts of resin and hardener. The resin needs to be clear and uniform, so I will keep mixing until all of these swirls are gone. The resin has no more swirls, so it's ready to pour. But first, glitter. Now I'm going to pour the resin in slowly so it has the best chance of flowing into the mold between the sprinkles. A little bit more, just to be safe. And into the vacuum you go. Get that air out, I don't want it. With any luck, this should force the resin into the voids. Now, straight into the pressure pot. Gotta get it all clamped down so it doesn't explode. I mean, leak the air out. See you in 24 hours. While we wait, you should like and subscribe. Well, time to demold. We'll take the rubber bands off. The hot glue will also peel off. Out of the mold you go. Overall, not too bad. There is just a couple of areas to fix. A big bubble here, and the vent just sort of broke off when I was trying to trim it away. It turned out better than I expected. Just real quick, I'm going to use some UV resin to repair the scar from the broken vent and also fill in the big bubble. I really need to polish and cast up a new cap master, so I don't have to do this, but until then, I'm just coating the cap with UV resin to make it glossy so we can see the sprinkles better. While the cap is curing under a UV lamp, I'm going to use some opaque urethane to cast the body. I'm mixing about an ounce of both part A and B with some pink neon dye. It looks dark here, but don't worry. The resin cures white, so it will become a pretty pastel pink. I just have to pour the resin into the mold and pop it into the pressure pot for half an hour. While the body is curing, let's mix some acrylic paint to make a nice blue for the gills and mouth. I want the blue to be the same hue as the blue sprinkles, but just a couple of shades darker. I think we can get that by mixing some bright blue and a touch of turquoise with some white. I should be able to cover the gills in just a couple of coats. Yeah, I think this looks really nice. I've decided to paint the spots on top of the cap white. The body is cured now, so let's pop it out. This flashing will be easy to trim off with an X-Acto knife. The mouth just needs a little bit of blue paint. I have a few paint smudges, so I'm just taking a magic eraser to the surface to clean them off. Apparently, I thought I was recording when I super glued the cap and eyes in place, but I guess I wasn't. So just pretend like I showed you some glue as I roll right into the Glamor Shot. If you have an idea of something else you'd like to see me cast in resin, leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching. See you next time.